The biggest.
Yeah, the Bowdens probably would have come closest, Auburn and Florida State at the same time, kind of close there.
Yeah, that's true. The biggest season for this longtime Georgia Bulldog, and what I meant by this question is like guys who've been in the program for a long time, they haven't gotten an opportunity yet, and there's someone you are looking at with how spring's going and what the depth chart is looking like for this fall. Who do you think is in for the biggest season who's been with the program for a lot of years that Georgia fans may have forgotten about, but has been around and you're pretty excited to see come this fall?
I don't know if Georgia fans have forgotten about either of these two guys, but I think and among Georgia fans, these might be obvious, but I think Kendall Milton is definitely, I think, the biggest one. Because he came in as the 5-star running back, and he's just had so many injuries just here and there. He's never really been full. Obviously, he came into a loaded running back room to begin with, so kind of waited his turn. And even last year, he's just kind of battled injuries this whole time. Like you extrapolate what he did last year. Like you give him Kenny McIntosh's 150 carries last year, and he's probably well over 1,000 yards, 1,100 or so yards. And you basically double his touchdowns, like 16 touchdowns. Like, that's a monster season. But he's out now for the rest of the spring with a hamstring. So it's like another injury that it's like who knows how much this could like nag into the season. I think Kendall Milton, this was kind of looked at as his time to be, because you've seen the way Georgia operates the running back room under Kirby Smart. Like, there's very rarely just a number one go-to guy. But there can be a guy that kind of separates himself from the pack, from the committee, and that's kind of what you saw with Kenny McIntosh last year. And Kendall Milton was definitely the candidate, I think, to be, if you need a potential workhorse and you're not just rotating guys, that he could be that guy. And if the injuries are going to slow him down again, then I don't know. It might be the Branson Robinson show in 2023.
I saw some hype about the Robinsons. I think Roderick is turning some heads this spring, too, for the Dogs.
Yeah, without a doubt. Number 0, dude, that man is huge. I think he's like 6'2", 235 or something, true freshman. He's the new number 0. Number 0 just has to be a giant human being, I guess, for if you're on the Georgia offense. But I got one more, though.
Yes.
And the last one, you would probably guessed it, is Arian Smith. Dude's got 12 career catches, 4 touchdowns, like averaging 32 yards a catch. Like every time he plays, he basically catches like a 50-yard bomb. Absolute monster game against Ohio State in the college football playoff. And like a couple times this year, I know it was the Tennessee game early on. He caught that big one early in the game. And he's had that's just what he does. He's had just like 4 or 5 big plays in his career, just goes for 50 yards, but this is going to be his 4th year on campus, and the guy just cannot stay healthy. He's got like elite, maybe the fastest player that's ever played at Georgia, up there with Mecole Hardman type speed, but he's just always injured. And if this guy can actually be a consistent contributor for Georgia, like it makes their offense just so much more unguardable to have just a deep threat like that.
Look, man, not everybody can have the Jalen Hyatts in the SEC. Not everyone can just produce these track superstar slot guys like Squirrel now this year. It was Velus Jones in year 1.
I'm saying Arian Smith is every bit as good as, or probably faster than either of those guys, but I'm just saying, like, the talent is there. It's just about this man staying on the field. Like when he plays, he's a deep threat, but it's not necessarily about just development. He's got to be healthy.
I'll say for me, I'm going to do an offensive player and a defensive player here for the University of Tennessee, Matt Green. For offense, I think it's Ramel Keyton. I think Ramel has still been here for a really long time.